on behalf of IDYN to welcome our guest of honor and chief guest, Dr. T.P. Sasikumar from ISRO. So TP, of course, the name itself says it all. He doesn't need any proper introduction. You can Google him, you can find him everywhere. He is all there in the social media. But still, I would like to introduce him a little bit from my half. It's a humble, small introduction for Dr. T.P. Sasikumar. He is a space scientist, educationalist, spiritual director, motivational speaker, author of Life and Love, Rhythm of Life, Life Made Simple. So on this momentous occasion, we would like to welcome you with the small thought: you can dream as high as the stars, hoping it can heal the scars, boxes that will never be filled, and wishes that aren't grounded. Dreams are not meant to be fulfilled, but seem only to shatter the tender hearts. Ambitions are blessed and can make thy man contented. It all starts in the heart, soon continues in the mind. So this is the man who has achieved his dream and is spreading his mission to everyone. So we would request you, sir, to inspire us with your insightful words. So over to you.
Thank you and Rachana for that kind words. Glad to be part of this global meet. Voice It Out 2021. A galaxy of speakers on this third day when I meet you. I must thank Engineer Ravi Shankar IDYM for making me part of this. But I also should complain that I have not heard what happened the other 3 days. So when we speak to somebody, I don't know whether the same participants are attending or it's a different bunch. Most of the time what happens is there will be a lot of repetitions because everybody knows what is 17 points. Anybody who is interested, who is joining here would have read it at least once. When I make some few points, I should be very careful because all of you are learned people. Still, I have my short views to present. I only suggest you that I have got a small poetry written by me. Maybe 10 to 15 years back, it says the undivided earth. Everybody has become so selfish that we don't care what others. And the sustainable development is in discussion because of that only. The two movies which I suggest all of you to look at, Cowspiracy and Seaspiracy. Seaspiracy released this last few months back. If you have not seen that, that could be one of the best movie to look at how people look at sustainable development, including United Nations. The maker of the movie critically looks at the word sustainable. That's what happened. United Nations, the development, what is great, what are all the things required: housing, income, jobs, community education, governance, life satisfaction, safety, work-life balance, health. Everything was cared, but something was lacking, and that was environment. So the UNDP programs, when it came to now, the gross national income per capita, school environment, life expectancy, adult literacy, everything was great. But then if you look at the index, the fast world, because centuries to century, 20th century, 21st century, things were moving slow. But in this 21st century, people wanted to stop talking about centuries because time is moving so fast, and therefore we must talk about decades. So I keep saying, we are not on 21st century today, we are on third decade of 21st century and moving towards fourth decade. So we must talk about 4, 3, 2, 1. So when we talk about that, and when the fourth industrial revolution is in vogue, the rich and poor gap is increasing. Those who can live in the liberty of luxury, what is that they are pushing to the poor? And unfortunate that 2015, the Sustainable Development Program came, and we are now discussing after 6.5 years. That means, and we lost maybe 1 or 2 years we lost because of the pandemic. We have many reasons to say why we are late, but no excuse, because time is moving very fast. So what is it which made a difference? In the Sustainable Development Index, recognizing the development achieved within the planetary boundaries, how the Human Development Index relates to the ecological, that is what is being looked at very carefully. So life expectancy, education, income, fine. But then how about the carbon footprint? What is that they are pushing? So if you look at the last probably 160 countries, when you look at Singapore, Kuwait, UAE, Australia, USA, Canada, Norway, Finland, all that great countries, including Japan, you look at them, they come at the end of the index. So shame on them. Probably we should tell that development is not this, not at the cost of somebody else. Look at my country where I am speaking from, where I am part of it, India. We are approximately at the first 1/3 ending, where close to us could be maybe Venezuela, India, South Africa, Bangladesh, Turkey. That means we don't have much development, but we don't make others also to share the waste part or maybe the contamination which we make. But I am more proud. That's also shameful when we say that I am 1/3 in the beginning. My rank is between 50 to 60. That's not something great. But I am proud to say I belong to the southern west-south part of this country, Kerala. If you look at the Sustainable Development Index, you see among all the countries there is a small state coming, Kerala. In bracket it is written India. If you have not watched it, look at very carefully. Kerala has got a special place among all the other states of India because in the whole Sustainable Development Index, Kerala stays at the 6th after maybe the Costa Rica, Sri Lanka, Georgia, Armenia, etc. And then I think Peru and all is coming close, Cuba is coming close to that, and Kerala is coming. So one way, as an Indian, I am ashamed of myself, but as a Keralite, I am proud to say that Sustainable Development Index is taken care of well. So locally when we do it, we can also make a mark that shows every small place and cluster has to look at what we can contribute, so that your place will be marked as very special among the activities which we are doing. So in that context, I am sure those 51, I am not talking about 51 countries, 51 people, if they can represent some small change which they can make around them, I am sure that will be a big spark for showing it. And that is what the igniting young minds to become part of this global change. Educating young children to be a part of this, creating an entirely different platform to make this happen actively on the ground is what should be or what could be we have to look at. And that is what the shortest message which I can give today. So thank you, Ravi Shankar, and thank you all the office bearers for hosting me today and giving me this opportunity. As Rachana was mentioning, I am always available on any of the discussions which you like to have, very specific action items which we could plan together. And I feel that as part of the Chief Research Officer in IDYM, I also have got a responsibility to spread this across the globe, and I am committed to that. Thank you, pranams to each one of you, and God bless you. My contact is written on the chat box. You could be always on a click, reach me out, and I'll be with you. Prayers. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was amazing, and it's always great to hear from you because your words always enlighten us, and we get enlightened by listening to you. We can hear for hours together, and it will never be ended. So it's always an honor and pleasure always listening to you. Thank you so much. So from the IDYM Foundation, a small felicitation for you, a small gratitude and token of love. We know nothing can suffice your heights, the pinnacle which you have reached, but still a small token of love and gratitude from our side, I would like to present for our guest today.
Thank you, and thanks a lot, and great of you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. That was a small token of gratitude from our side.
Thank you.